So this is the temple of Nrisimhadev. Remember when we were in a hovala on the lake top? Before and set, if you went up to Sambha, before they went up to Sambha, there was Nrisimhadev, right? You say this is Nrisimhadev. There are 4 forms of Nrisimhadev here in the temple. One is in the sea, Shaligram. You go down all the stairs, and then there's a big rock so the Lord So, what to speak of Lord Vishnu being Anantarupa, Lord Nrisimhadev. Lord Nrisimhadev is one of the forms of Vishnu, but Lord Nrisimhadev is also Anantarupa. He also has so many different forms. This is to show inconceivable potency of the Lord. That the Lord has a Chintya Shakti. And he will take the different forms just for the pleasure of his devotees. Just like the pastime here is that the Vedas were stolen by some demon, and then the Vedas were stolen from Brahma. Vedas were given originally to Lord Brahma, and then it was stolen from Brahma. So the Lord came and killed the demon? Yes. And now they're in the form of Matsya. Just like we know in Srimad Bhagavatam like that, there's a pastime like that, how the Lord came as Matsya to save the Vedas. After the Vedas had been taken by some demon, the Lord came in the form of Matsya. And as Matsya, somehow he killed the demon, brought back the Vedas. So the Vedas are here, and they're here with Lord Nrisimhadev, right? Lord Nrisimhadev is protecting the Vedas. And they're here in the hill, this hill. The hill is a form of?
The 4 Vedas.
The 4 Vedas
personified is the hill.
Oh, the 4 Vedas are the hill themselves. So Lord Nrisimhadev is on top of the hill,
yes,
protecting the 4 Vedas. So, Vedic knowledge. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta krit Vedavid eva chaham. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the author. I am the compiler of the Vedas. So the Vedic knowledge was given, Tenhe Brahma Hridayadi Kavaye. In the beginning, the Lord imparted the Vedic knowledge into the heart of Brahma. And the Vedic knowledge is meant to be passed down. Vedas are like a handbook for all of us, how to live in the world. Tells us how we have to live, what is the proper duties for people living on this world, how we should execute the principles of Dharma, and how we have to progress from this human form of life. Ultimately, we have to go on out from the material world. In Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says, he says in Bhagavad Gita, in Brahma Samhita, he says, Nitya, how does it go? The Lord says, in Brahma Samhita, the Lord said, Vedeshu durlabham, adurlabham atma bhakto. Well, we're the intruders. This is their home, right? So in the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma is saying it's very difficult to know the Lord by the Vedas, but it's very easy to know Him by the devotees. Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakto. Right? So by the devotees it's easy to know the Lord. But studying the Vedas, because the Vedas is teaching many things. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, nice Traigunya Bhavarjuna. Rise above the modes of nature, be transcendental, because the Vedas mainly deal with the three modes of material nature. How to live in the material world, how to progress. Right? The Vedas are teaching a lot of karmakanda activity. Dharma, artha, kama, and then meant to be moksha. That's often what's taught in the Vedas. That practice religiosity to get economic development. With economic development, enjoy some sense gratification, and eventually become frustrated with sense gratification and think about liberation. But it doesn't happen like that. Even Srila Vyasadeva, when he was compiling the Vedic literature, he was stressing more on this. And this is why Vyasadeva was not satisfied. Although he wrote so many books, he wrote the 18 Puranas and Mahabharata and the different literatures, but he was not satisfied. And then Narada Muni, his spiritual master, came before him, and Narada Muni told him, the reason why you're not satisfied is because you have not properly glorified the Supreme Lord. And so then Srila Vyasadeva compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is a mature contribution of Vyasadeva. In his maturity, he compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam. Nigama kalpataror galatam palam shuka mukadam ritadrava. Pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam mahuraho rashika bhuvi bhuvu. This is from Srila Vyasadeva's introductory verses in the Bhagavatam. That the Vedas are like a tree. And the important part of the tree is the fruit of the tree. So the fruit of the tree is to get Krishna consciousness. The Vedas are dealing so many things of the material world. How to enjoy the material world, how to live comfortably, how to be prosperous, how to have a nice family, how to raise your children, and so how to do different rituals for people, birth, old age, disease, death, how to perform different rituals. So the Vedas are describing all of this. But Srila Vyasadeva did not glorify the process of bhakti properly. So therefore he was not satisfied. So Narada Muni told him, because you have not properly glorified bhakti, this is why you're despondent. This is why you're not feeling any satisfaction. So then Srila Vyasadeva sat in meditation and he contemplated the Supreme Lord, and he saw the Supreme Lord, and he saw how the material energy was under the control of the Supreme Lord. And based on that realization, then he compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Vedic knowledge, people like, Western scholars, they came here. There was one from Germany came, Max Muller, and he learned Sanskrit and he translated all the Vedas. But it was all rituals, so many different rituals which are there in the Vedic knowledge. What's important part is not just rituals, but devotion, bhakti, all of these different rituals. They are helping to keep us dharmic, but they don't give us the real fruit of dharma. The real goal is to develop love of God, Krishna prema. So Srila Vyasadeva had not emphasized this properly until he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. So we give more importance to Srimad Bhagavatam. People say, oh, you should read the Vedas. And there are a class of people who only study the Vedas. They follow only the Shruti. And they don't accept the Smriti. They don't accept Bhagavad Gita. They don't accept the Puranas. They don't accept Mahabharata and like that. They say only Shruti. And they will only speak from the Upanishads. You know, the people on the path of Gyan, their goal is just simply impersonal liberation. They just simply want Sayuja Mukti. They just want to merge into the oneness with the Supreme. So, for the devotee, just simply merging into the oneness, that is not what a devotee wants. Because if you merge into the oneness, then there's no bhakti, there's no opportunity for devotional service. There's no variety, there's no activity, there's no relationships. There's only the oneness. There's only the oneness, and that oneness, ultimately you become bored. And that's why in personal liberation, it means that they get some liberation for some time, but then arora krishrena parampatam tata patanti ado nadreta yasmadangraya. They fall back again into the material world. That they achieve some type of liberation for some time, but then they will come back to the material world and they will take up welfare activities. They will simply engage in activities helping the needy and food distribution and hospitals and children's homes. And they don't engage in the missionary work. They don't engage in preaching the glories of the Supreme Lord. Because they don't recognize that there is any Supreme Lord. They think everyone is God. They think everyone's the Supreme. So they don't bother to glorify the Lord. So they have no spiritual activities. They simply achieve this oneness. And so this process is negation of activities. They negate the material activities, but they don't have any spiritual activities. They don't know how to engage in hearing and chanting. Or if they do, they think hearing and chanting is done up until we get liberation. And then with liberation, then you give it up. Just like they may worship the deity. Actually, they're not doing deity worship. They're simply worshipping some murti. And their goal is to become one, to become the God, to become the Supreme. So that is Sayuja Mukti. So that kind of liberation, that is nothing to do with bhakti. Real devotion is an eternal activity. We say sanatana dharma. The eternal activity of the soul is to be engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord. And so the devotees mood is to engage in the worship of the Lord here and in the spiritual world. It will continue also, that the devotee will continue to engage in the activities in relation to the worship of the Lord. So, of course, there's different moods. Some, like the Sri Vaishnavas, they're more interested in Vaikuntha. They don't give so much importance to Krishna. We say Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. Ete chamsa kala pumsa, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So we say Lord Krishna is the Swayam Bhagavan. And he's the original Supreme, and Vishnu is the avatar from Krishna. The Sri Vaishnavas, they also understand the mood of being the servant, but they take Vishnu to be the Supreme and Krishna to be one of the avatars. You see, I saw a little difference there. But, you know, the mood is the same, the mood of servant, to be the servant. The Lord, Vishnu or Krishna is the one Supreme, and we are all his servant. And we give importance to hearing and chanting. That's there in all the Vaishnava Sampradayas. They encourage that, hearing and chanting. They don't all do it, but they encourage it. They know that that's what we should be doing, you know, the hearing and the chanting. So when we were in Ahovalam, you know, that some Sri Vaishnavas, they came that day, and one of the old men came up to me and said, because I was saying, Naham Tishtani Vaikunte, that the Lord says, I am not in Vaikuntha, and I'm not in the hearts of the yogis, but I am wherever my devotees are chanting my glory. So one of the Sri Vaishnavas came and whispered in our ear in Telugu, Prabhu translated it, he said, we can feel God here. We can feel God is here. Because we were chanting, we were doing kirtan. So they could...
Shall I move them?
You wanted to go.
Huh?
You wanted to go.
Oh yeah, yeah. So like that we encourage devotees to hear and chant. You know, our business is Shravanam and Kirtan. That's the roots of the creeper of devotion. And that hearing and chanting continues. Even when we come to the higher levels of bhava and prema, on the topmost level of devotional service, there'll be more hearing and chanting. It goes on continuously. It doesn't stop. All right? Any questions?
Usually among devotees, we have this attraction towards one particular form of the Lord. Like some devotees, they get more attracted to Krishna.
Yeah.
Some they get attracted to Nrisimhadev.
Yeah.
Especially myself, I am get attracted to Nrisimhadev.
Oh.
So even though I chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna is like not that much closer than Nrisimhadev. So how to understand this, Maharaj? And in that mood, if we serve the Lord, what can be one's destination?
Well, generally, if that's your mood throughout your life, and then in the next life you continue in that mood, then destination will be Vaikuntha. Right? Huh?
He won't go to Vrindavan.
Yeah. The worship of Lord Nrisimhadev is not in Goloka. Yeah. Worship of Lord Nrisimhadev is in Vaikuntha. All the different avatars, they all have their planet in Vaikuntha. Right. Devahuti, she goes to Lord Kapila's planet in Vaikuntha. Yeah. So, but Vaikuntha is a spiritual world. You know, nothing wrong with going to Vaikuntha, you know. You know, you're in the spiritual world, you know, it's very nice. If that is your actual rasa, if that's where you're meant to be, you know, we don't know really what is your actual, yeah. But if that's the mood you're cultivating at this point in your life, later on it can change. You know, just like in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it describes about Gop Kumar. And Gop Kumar, how he was worshipping, and then he went to Jagannath Puri and he was worshipping Jagannath there for some time, right? And then he went on and he became the king of Puri. But But he was not satisfied. Yeah, he felt there was something more. So he went higher and higher, and so many different levels, different ways of worship. He experienced them all. And he went all the way up through the universe to the higher planets, then into the spiritual world. I don't know what the time span was, but many, many years he was traveling there. And he went into the spiritual world. He went into the Brahmajyoti. He went into the Vaikuntha. He went to Ayodhya. He went to Dwarka. Finally he got to Goloka. And then they told him, it's none different from Vrindavan. And they came back to Vrindavan.
Maharaj, if someone does not go in these 10,000 years, if some devotee does not go back, so when the devotee will go back?
What will happen?
Well, what will happen? Maybe Prabhupada will come and deliver you, huh? Prabhupada will come and take you back. Yeah, because Lord Chaitanya has come, so for the next 10,000 years it's a golden era, so everyone can get special mercy by Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. But it's not just for 10,000 years. Kali Yuga you can chant the holy name. So even you can't make it in 10,000 years, there's more time. There's 413,000 years left, you know. You can go on. So, Krishna will make some arrangement, right? Lord Krishna will arrange to bring the devotees back. He'll send some devotee to teach us, to lead us, to help us to get out of this material world. Provided
Don't wait for that.
provided we are sincere, provided we really want to go, we want to get out of here.
I'm remembering Vrindavan Maharaj. It just reminds of